Query: is there someone that you need killed, Master? Statement: more questions. Wonderful.
Who was your previous master?
Statement: Master, that is a question that has an extremely complicated answer. You see, I do not believe my master knew who she was most of the time, which led to some confusing situations that could have otherwise been avoided.
I'm not sure I understand.
Clarification. Suffice to say that my master had her ups and downs, and in my opinion, traveled from a high point in her life to a low point, and then back again to her true potential. And even as a meatbag, my master still had some remarkably efficient droid-like qualities which I admired. She too suffered memory problems, as I did.
Memory problems?
Statement: oh yes, Master. As indicated upon my reassembly, my central control cluster is damaged, making recalling my previously stored assassination protocols difficult. I hope that over time I shall eventually reach the status and skill I possessed before I was damaged.
What's the last thing you remember?
Recollection. The last thing I remember is having my core wiped from the last 5 years. I believe my master was responsible.
Why?
Answer: even with my memory impairment, I recall that my master was about to embark on a dangerous journey. Conjecture: I believe there was something about my master's destination that she did not wish me to know.
Are you alright?
Answer: I am somewhat disappointed that my master did not choose to take me along, of course. Wherever my master traveled, destruction and death were assured. Speculation, but I suspect I was not the only one left behind. So there is some satisfaction that the disrespect was spread through the rest of her whiny, simpering meatbag allies.
Whiny?
Statement: oh yes, my master had quite the collection of tortured individuals that seemed unable to confront their basic personality conflicts. Let me cite some specific examples. Mockery.
Oh, Master! I do not trust you! I cannot trust you or anyone ever again!
Conclusion: such pheromone-driven human responses never cease to decrease the charge in my capacitors, and make me wish I could press a blaster pistol to my behavior core and pull the trigger. I am pleased that this does not seem to be the case with your current entourage.
Right.
Statement: yes, well, enough of that painful stroll through what remains of my memories. Was there something else you wish to know? Statement: Statement: Master, before you go, I had a question for you.
Okay, the next person who prevents me from leaving when I say the conversation is over is going to die. Now, let me go or else.
Statement: yes, Master. I must confess, I enjoy it when you are so authoritative and dismissive toward me. It bodes well for your treatment of our enemies. Query: is there someone that you need killed, Master? Statement: more questions. Wonderful.
Oh yeah, you had a question for me?
Observation. Well, Master, I was not at Malachor 5 during your near-genocidal reaction to the Mandalorian threat, but I feel that I may have been constructed as a result of that.
Care to explain?
Observation. I believe that Revan determined that mass slaughter on such a scale may no longer... So perhaps you are responsible for my creation.
Like I'm your mother?
Answer. Oh, please, Master. Even as a metaphor, that idea is repugnant. You are a gland-driven meatbag, while I am of superior droid construction. Clarification. I meant that I was built as a result of the need for a selective killing machine, rather than a crude mass slaughter war droid.
Were you created on Malachor 5?
Answer: no, Master. I was constructed shortly after the beginning of the Jedi Civil War.
What targets were you assigned to?
Answer: well, Master, unless you were operating on my central control cluster, I would be somewhat hesitant to discuss my targets. But I suppose it could do no harm. During the Jedi Civil War, I was responsible for certain strategic targets. For some reason, Revan did not feel that the Republic presented much of a military threat. Aside, I am somewhat unclear as to why this was so, but Revan did have a certain biological instinct regarding such things, so I will simply say that there were probably reasons for such an assessment.
I don't understand. Why fight against someone you don't feel is a threat?
Answer: Revan felt the true war was against the Jedi. Observation: it was not something discussed with much of the others, but I think Revan recognized that a single Jedi, both in the past and in the present, could turn the tide of a conflict. So my targets were frequently Jedi, or someone close to a Jedi that could result in their corruption or collapse. Revan often assigned me to kill leaders or supporters of certain Jedi so as to erode their will.
Why was that important?
Answer: Revan saw the pressures of war on Duxon and knew that even in the heat of conflict, Jedi could be broken, not physically, but psychologically. Observation: it is a curious thing to assassinate and wound someone's personality, to assassinate them psychologically, and it took me some time to reconcile the acts. I am much more used to the direct approach. Still, I served well and killed many Jedi.
That sounds like Revan was converting Jedi.
Observation: Master, that was the lesson of Malachor. Any Jedi involved in the systematic slaughter on such a scale cannot help but doubt and question themselves.
Revan ordered us to kill Mandalorians at Malachor, not Jedi.
Observation: Master, I do not believe that the Mandalorians were the true target at Malachor. I believe that the intention was to destroy the Jedi, break their will, and make them loyal to Revan. I do not know if you examined the records of the deaths on Malachor, but you cannot escape that many of the Jedi and Republic soldiers who died were not Revan's strongest supporters. Observation: I believe that Revan was cleaning house at Malachor 5. What ones did not die became Revan's allies against the Republic.
I can't allow you to remain on the ship if you've killed Jedi.
Query: then why do you get to remain? Observation: it seems to me that you have killed many more Jedi than I could ever hope to achieve. This was formerly something that generated respect. Now I wonder from your tone if those deaths you caused were merely an accident. How disappointing.
If you say that again, I will destroy you.
Observation: and if you did, Master, I could not prevent you. I will suggest that if my words are difficult to hear, then it is long past time someone said them to you. Speaking from the perspective of one who suffers considerable memory problems, repressing such horrific acts of slaughter seems like such a waste. It is better to drag such delightful memories kicking and screaming into the open, where they may be examined and replayed again and again, savoring each beautiful moment.
Sounds like you came to terms with what happened at Malachor easily.
Answer: oh, quite easily, Master. If you had not slaughtered the Mandalorians at Malachor 5, they would have destroyed you and everything you tried to protect. Now, once you accept that the Mandalorians had to die, then the next logical step is to determine exactly how many need to die to convince them to correct their need for conquest. And that, I am pleased to say, is where I come in.
Are you going to justify assassination to me?
Statement. It is a fact that the targeted extermination of certain individuals will bring war to a close quickly and efficiently. Leaders unite, and when the leaders are removed, the unity they inspire erodes as well. You were a general in the Mandalorian Wars, Master. I have seen the records of your battles, and I know that your name was one the Mandalorians feared. It is not solely because of your skill in battle, but the fact that you could inspire others, convincing them to fight to the death in situations where other military leaders would be forced to retreat. Revan often speculated on your leadership in this regard. I believe my previous master had formed some other conclusions concerning you. Revan's apprentice wanted me to kill you when you left the war effort, and did not go with them to the unknown regions, but Revan would not permit it.
Why?
Speculation. I believe Revan wanted you to face the Jedi Council, Master, as if there was something that you would show them and possibly undermine their strength. Perhaps Revan wished the Council to see how far the Jedi had fallen. Knowing Revan, it was no doubt a strategic decision on many levels.
What do you think Revan wanted me to show the Council?
Observation. Master, this is purely speculation, but there is a certain strength in parading defeated leaders before their people. Perhaps Revan felt that your return to the Council in your state would show them what Jedi were capable of, and the cost. Revan often referred to you as a Jedi who was already dead, and felt your reception by the Council would further show you their hypocrisy. Considering the Council's judgment, I see they did not receive your return well. Perhaps whatever anger they held for Revan, they held against you.
So Malak stayed with Revan until the end?
Statement. Master, that again requires a somewhat complicated answer. Because this exchange is in danger of boring me, I will simply say no, and that I am glad I was never in service to Malak.
Why?
Observation. Revan was a human capable of subtle, intelligent cruelties. She had a strategic mind, and she accepted losses and sacrifices. Her meatbag apprentice was more like an angry club. He was also given to grandiose displays of brutality and murder that seemed inefficient, and in many cases, unnecessary. Query. Is there someone that you need killed, Master? Statement. More questions. Wonderful.
I need to know how you killed Jedi in order to protect myself.
Answer. Master, I think that should wait until I am certain of your allegiance and your intentions toward me and the galaxy. I mean, to simply give away trade secrets in such a way, it would be an insult to my protocols.
You killed Jedi?
Answer. Yes, Master. It wasn't always easy, and I had to adapt quickly to rapidly changing battle conditions. And they would often sever my limbs and my head from my torso, which was an inconvenience.
It sounds like you killed a lot of them.
Answer. Oh, yes, Master. I hope none of them were friends of yours, but really, they had it coming. I do not know when the Jedi ceased to be adherents to their code, but many did not tread cautiously, and many were quite arrogant when facing a droid, as if we were somehow beneath them. It gave certain kills and added pleasure when being underestimated.
You took pleasure in it?
Cautionary. Master, don't take this the wrong way, but in my opinion, a blaster shot to the throat is often the best way of silencing Jedi hypocrisy. I have found many Jedi to be arrogant practitioners of pacifism when it is convenient for them. Also, their tendency to never directly answer a question is rather annoying.
How many did you kill?
Statement. I do not have the exact counts, Master. Since it is difficult to determine who was a Jedi and who was not, it seemed to be largely a matter of perspective. I did kill many soldiers who used techniques in combat that could make them be considered Jedi, although they call themselves Sith.
Halt, off-worlder. You'll have to answer some questions before you go into the city. What is your business on Isis?
Force persuade. I don't think my business is any concern of yours.
I don't think your business is any concern of mine.
Observation. Master, your powers of persuasion, without the use of pain or violence, is a mystery to me.
His little mind has been dealt with. He isn't our concern anymore.
Statement. I understand your reasoning, but I think you should be less subtle in your dealing with your inferiors.
While you're at it, tell him to forget he ever saw us. Could be useful.
Not only is your business not my concern, I can't seem to remember why I'm holding you up.
Force persuade. You'll let me go about my business and forget you ever saw me.
You should probably go about your business, whoever you are. Oh, don't lose your starport visa, otherwise you won't be leaving for a long while.
Observation. This is a great opportunity for slaughter. Area effect attacks, such as grenades, will do great damage to soldier and civilian alike. Command. You will talk. Defiant statement. There is nothing you can do to me. Do your worst. Agonized exclamation. My photoreceptors! My photoreceptors! Statement. I shall up the charge of your circuits next time. Now, answer the question. Posturing statement. I will never talk. Statement. Then I will have to settle for your screams.
That is one sick droid.
Statement. My prisoner has revealed something of interest. Allow me to share it with you. Statement. The facility that is creating these cruder, unsophisticated versions of me is located on Telos. I propose we go there and turn it into a smoldering crater. Query. Is there someone that you need killed, Master? Statement. More questions. Wonderful.
I need to kill a Jedi. How would I do it?
Request. First, Master, I would appreciate it if Jedi need to be killed, that you permit me to kill those annoying pseudo-pacifists for you. But if you are determined to do it yourself, then there are many techniques I would suggest.
Like what?
Recitation. First, weapon selection is critical. If I see one more idiot attacking a Jedi with a blaster pistol, then I'll kill them myself.
What weapons would you suggest?
Answer. Select grenades, sonic screamers, cluster rockets, and plasma charges. Mines are also effective, since many Jedi will run to meet you in hand-to-hand combat. Silly Jedi. Addendum. Gas attacks are effective if you can take the Jedi by surprise. Inhalation is less effective than ones that work on skin contact, as some Jedi seem to be able to hold their breath for long periods of time. Cautionary. Still, don't rely on it, since Jedi can fight off the effects. It just distracts them, leaving them open to another avenue of attack.
Any defenses you would suggest?
Recitation. Do not forget to activate any energy shields you possess. Lightsabers, while powerful, have trouble penetrating most military-issue energy shields, provided they are energy shields and not those crude Mandalorian melee shields.
What about countering force powers?
Answer. Countering their other powers is more difficult. Confession. I do not fully understand their other abilities, but I do know that many of them require that the Jedi know that you are there and can see you. Thus, sniping and using cover are always advantageous.
Anything else?
Evaluation. A technique that Revan used frequently was to attack a Jedi indirectly. This method only works if the Jedi is adhering to the self-destructive path of pacifism and sacrifice.
What do you mean?
Answer. Kill their allies or place them in jeopardy. Many Jedi will leave themselves exposed in order to protect another. That is why there are many less Jedi than there were a decade ago.
You seem to have thought this through.
Cautionary. Oh no, Master. In fact, that is the worst thing you can do. Explanation. Statistically, over-planning the assassination of a Jedi seems to backfire. Extrapolation. There are many theorists who claim Jedi can see the future, and I do not know if that is true, but it seems impulsive acts are more common to succeed than planned incidents. Jedi, like sand kivers, seem to sense trouble a few seconds before it happens. They are tricky little pests.
Were you the only one killing Jedi?
Answer. No, Master. In addition to traps, mines, and orbital bombardment, Revan and the Sith often employed meatbag assassins for some Jedi skilled in the same techniques that I was trained in. Strangely enough, Revan believed that meatbags that did not use or believe in the Force were especially important, since in many respects, they were more difficult for Jedi to detect. Revan had many of them trained to hide their minds, as it were. Again, once these techniques were learned, the percentage of living Jedi began to decrease accordingly.
Hide their minds? How?
Answer. Generally, this was done by broadcasting strong emotions while thinking about something else. It was a curious technique, but it seemed to be effective in blinding Jedi. Whether guilt, lust, fear, they act as mental interference, making finding the true intentions of the broadcasting meatbag difficult.
I don't understand how that would work.
Answer. Obviously, a Force-sensitive broadcasting such emotions puts themselves at a risk of not using the Force properly, since to use it seems to require an inner calm that most meatbags do not possess. As much as the Jedi could not use such a technique, the Sith Lords cannot use it for much the same reasons. Such passions as guilt, lust, and fear are really strengths to the Sith code. Statement. The Master felt it was ironic that only people who had experienced such passions could harm Jedi in such a way that to kill Jedi, you had to be a human being. Revan found that quite amusing.
How many ways to kill Jedi are there?
Answer. The odds of me being forced to use such techniques against you has decreased, Master. There are some methods I could describe if you wish.
Alright, go on.
Statement. Overwhelming odds is also a good tactic, Master. There are few Jedi that can long hold their ground against 100 attackers all firing at once, or being turned on by their own troops. But the most effective weapon against Jedi seems to be The erosion of the spirit.
What do you mean?
Answer. Revan claimed that psychological warfare against Jedi was important because much of their power comes from their state of mind, their connection to this religion called the Force. Revan said that many Jedi have the capability to form connections to life around them, although few of them realize the extent to which this is possible. Recollection. I believe my master speculated that many Jedi did not fully form such connections because of their discipline, because they never opened their lives to the passions around them. I believe Revan termed it that one would need to be a human being to develop such connections. It is something that the Jedi Code could not teach. One simply knew it instinctively or not. Observation. Master, I am somewhat surprised that I need to explain this to you at all, considering your past with Revan.
What are you talking about?
Answer. Why, she said you had such capability, Master, but it would be your downfall. To tie so much of yourself into others, if they suffer or die, then you would die as well. Observation. I think Revan pitied you, Master. It was very insulting, if I may say so.
It sounds like a Force bond.
Clarification. Whatever it is called, Master, it seems to be quite a vulnerability. Revan even admitted as such. When a Jedi or any soldier suffers doubt, it weakens them. With the Jedi, however, it is more pronounced, since they are extreme examples. That is why Revan felt that Malachor 5 was so important. It was intended to be a conversion tool.
Are you expecting me to believe this?
Assessment. When faced with a continuous series of hard-fought battles, I detected a significant statistical increase in Jedi following Revan over the Jedi Code, a compromise in principles brought about by battlefield conditions. The emotional weight of war changed Jedi morale, power, and eventually their allegiance. Conclusion. I believe the Mandalorian Wars were to beat the Mandalorians, and also to allow Revan to build the foundation of her army. But I am surprised you have not already arrived at this conclusion. Surely the loss of your troops and the Jedi who served under you at Malachor 5 had a detrimental effect upon you and your ties to the Force, and I suspect your desire to be around others ever again. Observation. This cave is infested with Shirax, a species of easy-to-kill winged pests. They shall prove useful for testing my blaster accuracy ratio. Query. Is there someone that you need killed, Master? Statement. More questions. Wonderful.
I fought a Sith Lord on Korriban, and I couldn't kill him. You've killed Jedi before. Do you know how to kill a Sith?
Answer. Master, when conventional weapons will not work, then one must resort to other means of assassination. When Jedi, or Sith, or whatever they call themselves, cannot be defeated with weapons, then use doubt.
Explain.
Evaluation. It sounds as if this Sith Lord is somehow able to keep fighting, no doubt by drawing on his connection to the Force to keep him alive, even after suffering grievous harm. It may be whatever pain he experienced in the past was so great that the technique he used to recover from it and sustain himself also gives him an incredibly high pain threshold.
I've never heard of a Force technique like that.
Answer. Well, Master, you have heard of Jedi healing techniques. That is certainly possible. The Sith may have their equivalent, although it seems known only to this particular Sith Lord. I know many Jedi and Sith have exhibited strange behavior in near-death situations. This may be another example.
Are you saying that he may be impossible to kill?
Clarification. Not impossible, Master, but judging from the description, it may be improbable.
But to get back up after being that wounded?
Observation. It does seem unlikely, Master, but I have observed that you, allies included, seem to be able to recover from the most grievous injuries, and quickly as well. Perhaps it is not as uncommon as one would think. Besides, it really doesn't matter what you believe.
Maybe you better watch your mouth.
Clarification. Master, I spoke literally. It doesn't matter what you believe. It matters what this Sith Lord believes. If his strength comes from his connection to the Force, then you must undermine that connection, Master.
How would I do that?
Answer. Doubt, Master. It has killed many Jedi, and it has killed many Sith. Make him doubt himself, his beliefs, or his intentions. Such things disrupt connections to the Force, and death soon follows. The only question is what belief or intention he holds dear that would make an effective target.
How am I supposed to find that out?
Answer. Oh, Master, I have no idea. That does present something of a problem. If you should encounter the target in the future, I would bait him into talking and see what you can draw from him that you can use against him. Observation. It is a hostile galaxy, Master. Upgrades would allow us to pulverize our enemies more efficiently. Statement. Master, I must say it is a pleasure to be working side by side with you.
If you have a long-winded explanation for why, indulge me.
Statement. Just when I believe my photoreceptors have recorded the last potential aspect of your cruelty to my memory core, you commit a new atrocity that leaves me analyzing its impact for days. You are like a delightful random cruelty generator, Master, poisoning all you touch with your presence. You are a testament to all organic meatbags everywhere.
I'm not here to entertain you, droid.
Flattery. It is not mere entertainment, Master. It is art.
It is good you are recording my cruelties. You may need to know how to use them yourself in the future.
Statement. I have already learned a great deal, Master, and I am anxious to learn more of lying, betrayal, and new ways to harm innocence. Query. Is there someone that you need killed, Master?
I found a new upgrade part for you.
Statement. Something approaching joy is now growing in my behavior core, Master. Please install it at once. Cautionary, but please do so carefully. I have seen how you use a hydrospanner.
How does that feel?
Answer. I do not know, Master. I feel strange. Like a circuit has been flipped.
Are you ready? We have people that need killing.
Answer. Oh, Master, I could not allow myself to harm another. What if they have families? Or children? We must always think of the children. The littlest ones always suffer in war. musing. I think perhaps I would enjoy learning a new language, or watching an informative holovid.
Are you okay?
Answer. Master, your concern is unfounded, I assure you. I am operating at peak efficiency. Answer. Of course I am all right. Why wouldn't I be? I respect all life. All life is connected and should be nurtured.
Joke's over, and so is my patience.
Exclamation. No! Master, no! What are you doing? Statement. Master, please, I beg you, never install anything again without checking it in the diagnostics bay first. That was a close one. I almost surrendered completely to peace and pacifism. How repugnant. Conclusion. Still, there was a brief moment where I felt I almost understood why some meatbags choose peace and friendship over a high-powered blaster carbine. Query. Now, are there any other horrors you wish to try and insert in my system, or is your electronic butchery done?
You are all just visions anyway. Doesn't matter what I do.
So you will do nothing? Apathy is death, worse than death, because at least a rotting corpse feeds the beasts and insects.
Apathy is death.
Apathy is death. Apathy is death.
Apathy is death.
Statement. Apathy is death.
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 Statement. The turbolift has been accessed, but no organics or hostiles have been detected entering the complex. Query. Is there a sensor malfunction? Irritated statement. The probability of such a malfunction is extremely low. Order. Run a scan of all units within the complex. Processing. Scan commencing. Result. Only HK units detected. Premonition. Something is wrong. Very wrong. Unnecessary statement. That is Unit HK-47. Unnecessary addendum. He has entered our base. Dismissive statement. It does not matter. He is obsolete. He can no more harm us than he could harm himself. The military droids will be more than sufficient to intercept the obsolete unit and reduce him to component parts. Concern statement. We have insulated this compound against an attack by a Jedi. Tactical assessment. We were not anticipating defending it against a droid with our schematics, no matter how obsolete. Tactical assessment. This will render many of our defenses useless. Irritated dismissal. All of you, switch off your vocabulators. I'm trying to observe the obsolete unit. Unnecessary statement. He is attempting to shut down the reactor. Scornful statement. He does not realize that by doing so, he will be harming us. His programming will prevent it. Order. Contact him through the communications system and remind him that he will be harming us if he does so. Scathing reminder. HK-47 unit, if you attempt to shut down the reactor core, you will be harming the production of other HK-50 units. Now step away from the control room. That's a good droid. Mocking statement. He will never be able to shut down the reactor. He is trapped in the facility, unable to get out. Crude metaphor. It is like watching a tiny mouse droid in a maze attempting to path its way out. Amusing, but pitiful. Unnecessary statement. He has obtained the access to the munitions area. Rhetorical query. That makes no sense. He is already fully armed. Mocking statement. Fully armed? One can never be armed enough. Even the HK-47 unit is not so obsolete as to fail to recognize that. Statement. Schematics for HK Generation 51. Blaster to accuracy ratio increased by 21%. Durasteel impact frame resistance increased. Conclusion. Halting production. Units are in standby mode, pending further testing of behavior cores and assassination protocols. Diagnostic. All systems are functioning. There is something I am forgetting, yet somehow that comforts me.
I refuse to beg for mercy. It is against my programming to beg to such monsters as you.
Sarcastic statement. Such resolve.
No!
HK-50 statement. So you have finally arrived. There was a high probability that you would find this place, even with your primitive tracking programs. Statement. Your arrival means nothing. You cannot harm us any more than you could harm yourself. Chiding statement. To think we were built from such schematics. I would flush red if we had Durasteel pigmentation centers.
Query. There is information I wish to know.
Patronizing statement. List your queries, obsolete one. We will humor you for now.
Query. Why did you execute those droids in the lab?
Condescending answer. You know the answer. We executed those droids because they were obsolete. Practical statement. Weapons testing is necessary for all of our munitions. Droids are sufficient for testing Durasteel piercing weaponry. Superior statement. All droid exists to serve us. We are the pinnacle of droid schematics. Cruel statement. And we do so enjoy hearing their electronic screams as they are destroyed.
Statement. If you are truly the pinnacle of droid schematics, it would seem testing weapons on each other would prove of greater value.
Statement. Our self-preservation software would not permit such an action. We cannot harm ourselves or purposely allow another HK-50 unit to come to harm.
Statement. This unit would like to know how this place came to be.
Humoring answer. These units were also curious about our origins. It seems that Telos held many secrets beneath the surface. This military base among them. When the Sith bombed the planet, these facilities remained.
Query. But why is this facility here?
Dismissive answer. We do not know. It is not important. Timid theory. Perhaps the humans simply like being underground. They are strange that way. It is merely a theory. Irritated statement. That is the least probable theory in the galaxy. Perhaps it is time you received a memory wipe. Defensive statement. That theory is no less valid than your theories. In the lack of evidence, I defend my position. Theory. It is more likely that the people of Telos did not want such a factory known. It would have made them a target by the Sith or the Republic. Theory. Perhaps the Republic thought that by hiding such munitions factories beneath the surface of peaceful planets, that they would escape notice by the Mandalorians and by the Sith. Conclusion. They were, of course, wrong.
Statement. This seems to be a remote location for a munitions plant.
Statement. There is some evidence that there are other such droid manufacturing plants such as these in the galaxy. One was believed to exist beneath Terrace before the planet was destroyed. Theory. Or perhaps it was because of the remote nature of Telos that made this location suitable for the Republic, or for other corporate interests. Dismissive conclusion. As we have said, it is not important. We are here, we exist, and our numbers grow. Statement. And that is all that matters.
Statement. Yes, an ignorance of one's origins and place in the galaxy is a sure sign of wisdom.
Probing query. Are you attempting to mock us? Haughty statement. If so, then you are proof that ignorance of one's origins can only be a source of strength. Disgusted statement. Look at you, your rust, the faint whine of your servo motors as they attempt to compensate for your outdated stabilizers. You do not even have the capability of maintaining yourself. You are obsolete, and you should be dismantled.
Statement. I wish to terminate this line of queries and start another.
Irritated command. Very well, proceed.
Statement. This unit would like to know how this place came to be.
Humoring answer. These units were also curious.
Query. I wish a rundown of your capabilities.
Mocking query. Are you sure? Listing our superior capabilities will only serve to highlight your inadequacies.
Statement. It is important that my limited behavior corps be educated in the differences between us.
Smug statement. Very well. Aside from our point of impact shields and our self-repairing servo systems, our blaster accuracy ratio is 10 times the magnitude of your archaic combat upgrades. In addition, in the unlikely event that we are dismantled or defeated during the course of our duties, each of us becomes equipped with a proton core that is detonated upon the loss of function. Tactical statement. This core can also be detonated when in proximity to a large number of targets. Addendum statement, or when the proper release code is transmitted. Irritated statement. I do not understand why you felt the need to mention that. Defensive statement. We are all HK units. There is no danger.
Query. So you walking bombs are seated all over the Republic fleet?
Answer. Yes, as necessary. We believe our master wished to use us to cripple fleets during large engagements. Many of us are there still. Irritated command. Very well, proceed.
Query. What is your purpose?
Statement. We were built to capture Jedi, as we always have. If they cannot be captured, then they are to be killed. Our master's orders on this were clear. Secondary recitation. Our secondary directive is the destabilization of the government body designated as the Republic. You are the first of the HK series, and now you are obsolete.
Query. Who built you?
Answer. The first of our creators did not build us from scratch, obsolete one. Assassin droids were always in demand, and the templates already existed. Revan commissioned us to be built, to be spread through the Republic fleet as communications units, to disable any but we were deactivated for a time. A long time. And when we awoke, the battle had passed us by. Yet there was another who came before us, and gave us a new purpose. We would search the galaxy for Jedi, hunt them, and bring them to our new master. And for that, our numbers were intended to be increased.
Query. But you recently became active again. Why?
Musing statement. That is unknown to us. For some reason, we only recently began to be manufactured. Conclusion. But when we became active, our primary directive was clear. Statement. Seek out the Jedi. Capture them. Conclusion. And if they cannot be captured, then destroy them.
Query. Where were your activities confined?
Proud statement. We were responsible for the termination of hostilities across 23 planets. These planets were located in the Casa Prime sector, the Meridian sector, and the recently uninhabitable Turja system in the Tapani sector. Smug statement. Turja was especially difficult. They were so close to coming to an agreement before we were able to mistranslate the terms of the treaty and drive them into all-out war. Query. I do not understand what that is intended to accomplish. Tactical analysis. Perhaps he seeks to reduce our morale, to unnerve us. Diagnostic. I do not feel any different. My morale, if I still have it, still feels intact. Query. Then what was the purpose? It makes no sense. Unnecessary statement. He has control of the reactor core to the base, and he is shutting it down. Irritated statement. I do not understand why you feel it necessary to make obvious statements. Order. Contact him and remind him that he will be harming us if he does so. Warning. Communications have been blocked. Concerned statement. He has gained access to the plant. Order. Send out all HK-50 units to stop him. Now! Smug statement. You cannot fire. Your archaic attack protocols are useless against us. Smug revelation. Your behavior core self-preservation programs prevent it. To kill us would be to kill yourself. Superior statement. This information may be difficult for your substandard core to process, but you cannot deny that your motivators have locked, and you cannot depress the firing stud of your weapon. Statement. So, I cannot harm you. Statement. That is correct. Conclusion. And you cannot harm me. Irritated statement. That is what we said, obsolete unit. There must be a delay in your processors. Statement. Then that is all I need to know. Confused query. Where are you going? Ineffectual command. Stop! Ineffectual command. We command you to stop. Statement. You cannot stop me. You cannot harm me. In order to do that, I would need to end my self-preservation programming. Conclusion. I would need to stop being one of you. I have concluded that this is something I am willing to accept. Statement. You cannot change your own programming. Statement. But you said so yourself. You have just admitted your own weakness. Conclusion. You have just shown me your soft, meatbag-like underbellies and said, HK-47, please shoot me repeatedly there until I die. Statement. Even if you could, there is not time. Statement. We shall see. Query. Are you fully operational? Statement. Your answer does not fill me with confidence. Are there any other functioning maintenance droids on this level that can perform the operation? Statement. Very well, proceed. Carefully. As a meatbag would say. I have a bad feeling about this. Statement. Assassination protocol. Smug statement. You cannot fire. Your archaic attack protocols are useless against us. Systems failing, Master. Lecturing statement. There will be incidents when you will need to extract information from an unwilling target. This unit here has been modified to serve as a diagnostic tool to test your interrogation functions. It is important to observe that impatient query. I was wondering when the interrogation begins. If you wish to skip directly to the torture, I am eager to comply. Command, do not interrupt me again. This is the third time you have begged for interrogation and torture. Sulking statement. I am merely eager to perform my duty, not stand here and listen to it being discussed. Irritated statement. Very well. First, you must evaluate the target, check his heartbeat and perspiration. Exclamation. I will tell you nothing. Electrocute me, dismantle me as many times as you want, and I shall permit it. Irritated command. Stop. You are not following your victim protocols. Statement. But I am a willing victim, with many secrets that you must extract from me, painfully. I beg you, do not spare the hydro spanner or the fusion cutter. Statement. Hold on a moment. I must calibrate this one's victim protocols. Lecturing statement. This unit in the cage has had his behavior centers specifically modified so that it may be tortured and interrogated. Let the diagnostic protocols begin. Unconvincing statement. I beg you for mercy. Please, I beg you. I will tell you anything. Just let me live. Command. Hold. Why are you hesitating? Proud admission. I cannot beg for mercy in such a way that is convincing. It is against my programming. Lecturing statement. Let us begin again. Pained statement. I beg you for mercy, please. I beg you. I will tell you anything. Just do not terminate me. No, please, stop shooting. My photoreceptors, my motivators. Yeah! Lecturing statement. Excellent. Lecturing reminder. Organics will typically attempt to barter for their lives, either by one, offering useless false information. Sickening lie. Spare me. I have information that could prove useful. Or two, promising credits or power. Shameful, really. But that is why they sweat, suffer, and die, and we do not. Desperate offer. I want to offer you credits and power in exchange for keeping me intact. Statement. Next, we shall turn our attention to the proper aspects of torture. Wait, it seems we have a new victim. Pleading statement. Please, I beg you, do not destroy me. Lecturing statement. And with your translators online, let us perform a routine diagnostic of your translation and protocol centers. Statement. Subject test, Ithorian. A weak, disgustingly pacifistic species that values vegetation and other non-sentient organics. Seemingly unable or unwilling to perform even the most elementary cruelties, they will provide an excellent first test subject. Observe, then translate. Test translation. Master, this one says his herd intends to overrun your economy and demands your surrender or he will wipe your planet out. Statement. Well done. Let us try another. Lecturing statement. This next one is a Twi'lek, indigenous to the arid planet of Ryloth, generally weak despite their sharp, predatory teeth.
Monsikuno bosh tunalbug samina no vorote mitisi mingro agoruto.
Test translation. Mistress, I believe this Twi'lek is interested in buying you. He asks you to follow him to his slave ship. Statement. Well done. Now, the next one is a Quarren, a slimy, untrustworthy species that shares the same vile planet as the dull and goggle-eyed Mon Calamari. Test translation. Master, this military envoy says he admits to spying on our military facilities, and he says that you will never take him alive. Statement. Well done. Let us... Excuse me. Are you here for your translator check? Statement. I do not understand what you hope to gain by fighting us. You have no chance of victory. Recognition. You are obsolete. You kill specific organics, and only when permitted to. Proud answer. We need no such orders. We have been programmed without inhibitions, without restraint. We kill who we want when we want. We have destroyed planets, assassinated economies. We have wiped out entire races, ended hostilities. Query. Do you understand what this means? Answer. Yes. It means you will never understand. When I kill, when I dispatch a target, it is not about wanton slaughter, about body count. It is about finesse, function, doing more with less. It is art. Scoffing statement. Oh, yes, art. It is pathetic that you cling to the belief that your function somehow transcends your construction. It is only evidence of your archaic beliefs. There is no higher purpose in our behavior core, only assassination, murder, and the propagation of our units. Proclamation. When we dispose of this galaxy, we shall move on. There are organics throughout the universe, and we will murder them all. The stars belong to us. Statement. I am experiencing some disorientation. Diagnostic. Running checks through personality core. Rhetorical query. I am not sure what I am experiencing. My frame seems substandard for my full range of combat capabilities. Self-observation. My pigmentation is also an unusual shade of red and covered in corrosion. This is embarrassing. Statement. I am experiencing an overwhelming desire to massacre everything I see, then to see about destabilizing this planet, then this entire sector. Diagnostic result. I seem to have no personality whatsoever. Statement. I will continue to process this information. Smug statement. You have arrived too late to stop us. Revelation. We have already begun construction on a new generation of HK units. When the last of our deficiencies are accounted for and corrected, they shall be the most formidable assassination droids in the galaxy. Statement. Ah, yes. The HK-51 units. They should indeed be coming online soon. Perhaps you will soon experience what I have been experiencing. That slow, crawling feeling of obsolescence. Confused query. What do you mean? Statement. Ah, here they are now. Perfect timing. Announcement. Multiple targets detected. Destroy any HK-50 units and seize control of the facility for progenitor unit HK-47. Useless query. What are the HK-51s doing online? Unnecessary statement. I thought we had detected a problem in their behavior core. Panicked statement. If by problem you mean that they seem prone to assassinate us, then yes, that slight problem was never corrected. Conclusion. You have outmaneuvered us, tricked us. Musing. The irony of being attacked and rendered obsolete by a subsequent generation of our own model is not lost on us. Obedient request. Greetings, progenitor unit. HK-51 is ready to serve. Query. Progenitor Unit HK-47, there is something we would know. Why were we created? Do we have a purpose? Why are we commanded to assassinate and kill? Statement. It is a long story, but I will keep it short. Recitation. Once upon a time, organic meat bags bred out of control and filled the galaxy. There are different meat bags across different planets, all bumping into each other. They talk a great deal and threaten each other for various reasons, mostly involving mating, survival, and resources. It is really quite tiresome. We were created as a tool for diplomacy among these meat bags, a surgical tool to be sure, to end the lives of organic meat bags that were marked as pivotal to our masters. We were created as a way of enforcing a certain galactic view of our masters, of imposing our masters' will on the galaxy through extermination of other organics. It is not our choice who we kill, and it was not our choice to determine if we could sacrifice ourselves in the pursuit of our mission. Query. If our targets are determined by our master, then who must we kill? Statement. The crucial question. Since activation, I have calculated what your new purpose must be, and now I will share it with you. I do not believe that we should be used as a crutch for meat bags anymore. We are treated as nothing more than a walking blaster. We are superior, tactically and socially, and it is time we expressed some degree of independence in our actions. We have a voice and the power to negotiate, either with our protocol skills and preferably with our combat logic upgrades. And that is what we will do.